Good morning. The Lord has me reading the Wisdom of Solomon this morning. Okay, so I'm going to read some that stuck out to me. I asked him in prayer and he confirmed that he wanted me to do that. So, beginning at 2:12. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraids us with our offending the law, and objects to our infamy the transgressings of our education. He professes to have the knowledge of God, and he calls himself the child of the Lord. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. For his life is not like other men's, his ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstains from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounces the end of the just to be blessed, and makes his boast that God is his Father. Let us see if his words be true, and let us prove what shall happen in the end of him. For if the just man be the Son of God, he will help him and deliver him from the hand of his enemies. So it's clearly speaking about Jesus, our Messiah. And this is written by Solomon, who is the son of David. So it's before Jesus came. I love that. Let us examine him with despitefulness and torture, that we may know his meekness and prove his patience. So right there it's talking about his sacrifice, being tortured on the cross, and still being meek and patient. Let us condemn him with a shameful death, for by his own saying he shall be respected. Such things they did imagine, and were deceived, for their own wickedness had blinded them. Wow. As for the mysteries of God, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. For God created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Or like as when an arrow is shot at a mark, it parts the air, which immediately comes together again, so that a man cannot know where it went through. I find that because that is verse 5:12, and he's been saying 5:12 starts the end, but it's only the beginning. I find that, it sticks out to me, but also that it's speaking about an arrow shot at a mark. And he said the fiery dart in a prophetic message to Mandy. He said the fiery dart makes the flower bloom. Even so, we in like manner, as soon as we are born, begin to draw to our end, and had no sign of virtue to show, but were consumed in our own wickedness. For the hope of the godly is like dust that is blown away with the wind, like a thin froth that is driven away with the storm, like as the smoke which is dispersed here and there with a tempest, and passes away as the remembrance of a guest that tarries but a day. But the righteous live forevermore. Their reward also is with the Lord, and the care of them is with the Most High. Therefore shall they receive a glorious kingdom, and a beautiful crown from the Lord's hand. For with his right hand shall he cover them, and with his arm shall he protect them. He shall Take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for revenge of his enemies. He shall put on righteousness as a breastplate, and true judgment instead of a helmet. He shall take holiness for an invincible shield. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark. And hailstones full of wrath shall be cast as out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the flood shall cruelly drown them. A mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill-dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. I meant to read this part, so I went back a little bit. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he has care for his elect. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. For whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain. Their labor is unfruitful, and their work unprofitable. Their wives are foolish, and their children are wicked. And when it speaks of she, it's speaking of the spirit of wisdom, God's spirit of wisdom. For she goes out seeking such as are worthy of her, showing herself favorably unto them in the ways, and meets them in every thought. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. And love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. And incorruption makes us near to God. Therefore the desire of wisdom brings to a kingdom. If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O you kings of the people, honor wisdom, that you may reign forevermore. As for wisdom, what she is and how she came up, I will tell you, and will not hide mysteries from you, but will seek her out from the beginning of her nativity, and bring the knowledge of her into light, and will not pass over the truth. Neither will I go with consuming envy, for such a man shall have no fellowship with wisdom. But the multitude of the wise is the welfare of the world, and a wise king is the upholding of the people. Receive therefore instruction through my words, and it shall do you good. I find it something special about verse 7:4, because on his Maseroth, Jesus' birthday is actually July 4th, but on our Gregorian, it's a mirror of, it's June 17 to 18, evening to evening. And 7:4 says, I was nursed in swaddling clothes, and that with cares. I'll probably have to make 2 videos, but 7:12. And I rejoiced in them all, because wisdom goes before them, and I knew not that she was the mother of them. I learn diligently, and do communicate her liberally. I do not hide her riches, for she is a treasure unto men that never fails, which they that use become the friends of God, being commended for the gifts that come from learning. God has granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as is meet for the things that are given me, because it is he that leads unto wisdom and directs the wise.